So it's been about 6 months since the Galaxy S22 came out, which is so crazy. So let's go ahead and take a look how this phone has been holding up for the past half a year. Now, I will definitely tell you, I think the Galaxy S22 has been a really good upgrade coming from the predecessor. The S21, I think, was a decent phone overall, but Samsung just made a lot of weird moves. I'm really happy with the way they went ahead and kind of went on with the Galaxy S22, and they improved the build quality, and honestly, this phone has held up a lot better than I thought it was originally going to hold up. If you want to buy it, I would still recommend buying it. Obviously, it's not that old at all. If you want to buy it, links will down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, one thing I would definitely tell you with the body, it still holds up extremely well. That 6.1-inch dynamic Amoled display is beautiful. And I think that panel is one of the main reasons why I look at this phone. And when I compare it to maybe even like an iPhone 13 Pro, or I compare it to the S22 Ultra or any of these phones, it may not be the best performing display compared to those other ones, but I still think it's a really good looking panel for the whole entire package. So the display, even though it's only 1080p, hasn't really, irked me in any way. I still love Samsung DeX, that USB Type-C port is really cool, obviously. But the frosted glass back is the one thing where I look at this phone and I see to myself that this phone is going to hold up much better in the future than a lot of these other phones in the market. When I looked at the Galaxy S21, it just really didn't make me super happy with that plastic back. It just seemed like Samsung was taking a really weird approach, especially when they had their S20 FE with a plastic back, their Note 20 with a plastic back, and now with an S21 FE with a plastic back. I just really was hoping Samsung would differentiate themselves against the main counterpart, which is their S22s, and they did. And I'm really happy about that. That in and of itself was a really big change from the previous generation, so I'm happy they went down that road. On top of that, I think the internals of this phone has held up extremely well as well. I think the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, from a lot of reviews I've seen and personal, I've used this phone and compared it against every single phone that has came out since then, including the iPhone SE2, which is not that big of a deal, or the SE3, the Pixel 6a's, some other phones that came out too, and the older phones too, and this phone has held up very well, and we are now on One UI 5, and with that 8 Gen 1 chipset, I just feel like this is one of those chipsets that's going to last the test of time for a long period of time. Samsung just announced their Z Fold 4 and their Z Flip 4, and those things also have an 8 Gen 1 variant chipset. Those are the 8 Gen 1 Plus, and even from the speed increase that still shows me that the 8 Gen 1 is still more than capable, and that is a very good machine as well. So that kind of covers up everything that I loved about this phone, including the camera. The battery life of this phone has been great as well, but I think the best thing about this phone so far is the price decrease. These things have gone down in value quite a bit in the used market. So right now, we are in the 6-month mark. Keep that in mind. It's not like this thing has even been out for a full year yet. And if I go and just look up the Galaxy S22 on eBay right now, I'm sure, I'm looking at ones that are, available for $600. There's an S22 Ultra for $670, which is insane. And there's a lot of them being sold for about that $550 price tag, less than $600. So I would assume that probably within the next few months, especially probably when the S23s come out, these things are going to go down to probably like, $300, much like what the S21s are going for right now. So these things are going down in value every single day, which is good for people like me who want to buy more, but it's also bad if you're wanting to resell it. And that's probably the only disadvantage. I think personally, the Galaxy S22, when I look at this phone, it's held up very well. It may not be like the no-brainer of a device anymore. I feel like last year when the S21 came out, there was quite a bit of momentum for that device for a long period of time, even though it wasn't that crazy big of an upgrade. With the S22, I feel like this phone was a monumental upgrade, but we are getting a lot of different phones in the market. We have the nothing phones, we have the iPhones, we have now the Pixel 6 and the 6a, and now with the hype of the Pixel 7s, and even the OnePlus, there's a lot of hype going on for some of these devices that I'm really happy for, and I feel like the S22 is kind of in this interesting spot where it's a really good phone, but it just seems like the other phones around it are also really good. So hopefully these phones push themselves to get better and better through each upgrade, but I guess we'll see what happens in the next few months. But I think the S22 has held up very well. It's gotten updates, it's gotten One UI 5, and I think in the next few months, it's probably going to solidify itself as probably one of the best Samsung phones probably ever made. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.